In this video, I want to talk about the power and the importance of saying no once in a while, or even every day, and how it can change your life completely for the better. It certainly did for me. And also, of course, some tactics and some ways that makes it easier to say no when a friend or someone asks you to do something that you're not really feeling like you want to do. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett. Focusing is about saying no. Steve Jobs. I went through most of my 20s and early 30s saying yes to exactly everything that anyone asked of me, including like salespeople wanting to have lunch with me, and like stuff that it really doesn't make much sense to say yes to unless you are very, very interested in what the salespeople have to say to you. But why do we struggle with this? I think, for me at least, it is mostly that we don't want to disappoint people. We don't want people to dislike us. We want people to like us, and therefore we say yes in the moment because it feels like that is the right thing to do. And the inability to say no, it's more common in people with a high level of conscientiousness. Being conscientious means being diligent, careful, and thorough in carrying out tasks or responsibilities. A conscientious person pays close attention to detail, strives to do their work to the best of their ability, and is guided by a strong sense of moral or ethical duty. They are reliable and take care to ensure that their actions are right and just. Research has shown that high conscientiousness is one of the strongest predictors of success in lots of different areas. So, like in general, it's a good thing, but it sometimes goes too far. Because what often ends up happening is that we say yes to everything and everyone. All incoming requests, all emails asking us for things. Do this survey, go to this meeting, talk to this salesperson, go to this seminar, whatever. We say yes to everything, and we say yes to all the projects that people at work want us to do. We never say that we don't have the time because we're working on other projects. We just say yes to everything. And what ends up happening is that we will not be able to fulfill all those yeses. We will have too much work. We will not be able to deliver, and in the end, we will still disappoint people. Most people will much prefer if we say no from the beginning to something than saying yes and then later coming back saying, oh, I didn't have time to complete that because I said yes to so many other things. And not only that, when you say yes to everything and you have lots and lots of things on your plate, then you will deprioritize yourself and your own needs. You will never do anything that you need to do to stay sane or to be happy. And that is not a great way to live life. Time is the ultimate currency. We all have limited time and it is slipping away every day. When you say yes to something you don't really feel like doing, you are giving away your precious time. A good test to see if you are someone who is in the risk zone, the danger zone of this behavior, is how you handle a phone call from a salesperson. The old me, in my 20s, I would talk to them. I would talk to them for a long time because it is very rude to say goodbye before they have told you everything they wanted to tell you. But today I have a completely different perspective. I don't have any obligation at all to give someone else of my time, especially if it's someone that I don't know and I don't really want to talk to. Today, if a salesperson calls me, the second I realize this is just a sales call, I just hang up. And I have no bad feelings about that whatsoever. And I don't think you should have. This is someone from the outside that is in a luring way trying to take my time, trying to pressure me into buying something. I don't have any obligation at all to talk to them. Hell yes or no. Derek Sivers. The shift inside me when I started to realize that I need to start saying no more to stand up for myself was when I heard a podcast interview with writer Derek Sivers. He has this motto in life, which is hell yes or no. And since I heard that interview with him, I've lived by that. Hell yes or no means that every time someone asks you something, to go to a party, to attend a meeting, to do whatever, if you don't feel, hell yeah, I really want to do that, then the answer should default to no, every time. This is a very good way of simply making that decision, a good rule of thumb, in case you are wondering, should I do this or no? If you don't feel hell yeah, then say no. At least try that for a few times and see what happens. Another good rule of thumb that I use, that I think I learned from Kevin Kelly, is that if you get an incoming email and someone asks you, do you want to attend this event that is like 3 weeks from now? Yes or no? Then we usually tend to think, oh, it's 3 weeks away. I don't really feel like doing that, but yeah, it's 3 weeks. Yeah, I'll say yes, because that feels much easier in the moment. We just say yes, and then it's a later problem. Always try to visualize whenever someone asks you to go to an event or to do something in the future. Always imagine that they're asking you to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, you're going to do this. Do you feel like doing it or no? Because sooner or later, tomorrow morning will be that event. So that's a really good rule of thumb, to imagine that the thing you're asking you to do will happen this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Then you will probably start saying no to a lot more things. A lot of the things that you would regret saying yes to when the day comes, you will say no to immediately and save yourself a lot of trouble. But how would you say no in a good way? If it is an acquaintance or a friend or even a family member asking you something? Well, most requests that I really feel like I want to say no to are maybe not from friends or people I know that well. Usually it's someone I met once or twice, or like I know them in a little bit but not too much. And then I have a really good way of doing this that I can recommend you to try in case you feel it is hard because you feel guilty about making them disappointed. For example, I have another YouTube channel about photography, the channel I'm most well known for. And regularly, like at least once a week, people ask me if I want to join them for a photo walk. They're like, hey, I'm going out in 2 days to this or that place, please join me. And it always feels a bit hard to say no to this because there are people that look up to me who have watched my videos and they feel like they are my friend, even though I don't know them. I always reply, and this, by the way, is a true reply, that I have a rule that I say no to all of these because I simply don't have time. If I would say yes to all the requests to go out on photo walks, I would not have time to make the videos, which is my job. This is what I make money from. So I simply explain that rule and everyone understands that. No one takes it personally because it's not personal. It is a general rule and I apply it often. So my advice to you is whatever thing you quite often have to say no to or you want to say no to, just make a rule that fits that and refer to that rule when people ask you. Then you take away the feeling of guilt that you're saying no. And also it makes the whole process so much easier. You can even have like a pre-written reply that you just copy paste. It takes away all the pain from the whole interaction and people will respect you. You will learn as you practice the muscle of saying no that people will still respect you, and maybe they will even respect you more when you say no, when you stand up for yourself and when you say, I have this or that reason and I'm saying no. I have to say no to this. And yes, it is scary to say no, especially in the beginning. When I began practicing this, it was really hard, really scary. I failed a few times. Sometimes I said yes, even though I wanted to say no. And this is a muscle you have to exercise. You need to get good at this, and it will take a few months probably of exercising this muscle until you are good at it. These days I don't think that much about it. Most things I say no to, I do it easily because I've done it so many times before. I think you just need to practice it a bit extra hard in the beginning so you get used to it, and you will notice that people don't get angry, people still respect you, and your life will get so much easier and happier. You will have more time for the things you really want to do, you will have more time for the work you want to focus on, and you will spend less time doing things that don't feel that meaningful, that you said yes to just to not annoy anyone. So overall, my life has become a lot better since I started practicing this. No one has become upset or angry. Yeah, maybe one person, but like not to the extent that I was afraid of when I started this. So I can really recommend you to try this. Say no to more things and your life will improve.